What's going on, everyone? All right, yeah, we're a couple minutes early, but so we'll wait a little bit more, just so that everyone knows for the song today. I did actually try to find that song. For those in the Discord, it was "Floor." The floor is lava because it was appropriate. It was 100% appropriate for what I always say, right? So I was pretty excited about that. We do have "Floor is Lava," 100% Raven. We do have Tampa Kurt in the house, or Curtis, as you guys can see. Um, he is. I'll let him go over his main background and all of this. Like he's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to taking care of your health and everything. So and that's kind of something that we really need to be talking about because of all the stress going on in the market with all the apes are going through right now. Because it is psychological warfare, and we're trying to figure out a way to keep that stress level to a minimum. And what we can do, maybe mainly on like a budget, right? Simple things you can do around your house or just the overall mental attitude and keeping yourself straight and trying just to negate any kind of bad reactions that what we're going through right now can have. So we're going to be setting this up, and this is also going to be part of BullHouse magazine. He's going to be writing articles, different ways to get healthy or stay healthy, given any kind of circumstances, right? So Curtis, I'll hand it over to you. If you want to go through what your background is, like what makes you kind of more proficient in this field per se. Not to put you on the spot. Did you unmute your mic by any chance? Yeah, it was unmuted. Oh, and we have Tampa in here. Curtis, I know your mic works because we tested this before you came, before we went live.
I have a question.
Yeah, Tampa, while Curtis figures this out. What's going on?
Yeah, with the hand up, that's what I'm quite stressed about at this point. We invest, we stay, we hold. There's no stress anymore. That's been gone for 10 months.
Well, I mean, for us veteran apes, yeah, the stress is gone. But I mean, we're mainly the new apes, right? Anyone that's been newly involved in this, it can get kind of stressful because we're going through a lot of different aspects, right? Like, it's been pretty stagnant, and this is and it's also to. I mean, people are kind of getting inside their heads. I don't know if you've seen on Twitter a lot lately. Like, it's just kind of a. I don't know. It does a lot of psychological warfare. I guess I don't know. Maybe because I get exposed to so many different people. Like there's a lot of stress.
What I'd like to say real quick, as far as health and wellness, I think that the first step would be to stay off of Twitter all the time. That is an echo chamber. That is staying in your own head. The original thesis was correct, right?
Yeah.
Buy, buy, hold, buy and hold,
That's
buy and hold.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Well, and I think
when you can.
100%.
Asterisk.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, I think it's the holding, like patience. Patience is a very, very fickle thing some days.
No, it's a Ronco cooker. Set it and forget it.
Easier for some than others. I would think so. That's why I wanted to kind of get inclusive, because not everybody's in that same, gosh, I mean, I think about it because what did we see? Foreclosures are up 60 some odd, 68%, 63%.
Yeah, actually, and I think I actually chimed in the last time I was in here and said that was going to be coming around November.
Yeah, we've talked about this. Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean,
Yeah,
we called that back in
impressive.
February, I think. It was crazy.
I called that in March, actually, yeah. Looked at the timeline, and then we readjusted the timeline outward, just by a little bit, when they re-extended things, but
Yeah, we said third or fourth quarter. Like that was, I was like end of third, maybe fourth. Optimistically, hopefully it would hold out to the first, but that was so not the case.
yeah, but like I said, I work with a lot of realtors. I'm the guy that literally does the letters on your house so you can sell your house.
Oh, nice.
Been in that industry, been looking at it. I saw it from 6, 7 months back. It was coming. It got re-extended. It should have happened in September, to be totally honest with you. But we're, again, kicking the can down the road. But
Yeah.
if we're talking health and wellness in regards to AMC, GME, all that stuff, just trust the process or don't. Sugar off the pot.
Yeah. No, I mean this is main like this is like a general health and wellness. Like, people so something that I realized back in '08, 10, 12, and especially 12 when Hambo and I went through our difficult point was trying to stay healthy and everything during the, when healthy food is not available or easily affordable, because for some reason healthy food is more expensive than junk food. Like, and that was something I noticed. Oh
I'm
God.
sorry, that's might be the most ridiculous comment I've ever heard in my life.
Have you not oh my goodness. So it was really interesting. So going to Publix, it was about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, when the shortages really started happening. Um, we go to Publix, and they have great, buy one get ones. They have all kinds of deals, right? And what was fascinating was that the junk food, I'm talking little Debbie's and the pop and chips, like munchy food, that was the stuff on sale. And we had seen it. That was when milk, eggs, bread, all of the other regular, staples, healthier food, produce went up in price. All of those things had gone up in price, but yet they had junk food and everything on sale.
Okay, I understand that completely.
It was very odd. So I was like, okay, what the hell? Hey, Tiedemann,
No,
what's going on?
it's an agenda. Well,
Oh,
hey, what's going on?
100%.
But if you take soil, which actually soil might be the most expensive part if you're actually shopping, if you don't have soil readily available, you take some seeds that are very cheap, or any plant product or anything you want, very, very cheap. You can get, let's even say a bag of potatoes, right? A bag of potatoes, 5 pounds is what, $4?
Yeah, roughly.
Correct?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay. Cut them in half, put it in the ground. 2 months later, you have a potato plant.
I'm not talking. I mean, we've talked about growing your own stuff. Obviously, that's the
No, we're
cheap.
talking about growing your own stuff, but you're talking about what's on sale, what's not on sale. I mean, you can grow even, like I said, I grew up in a way that we had a 100 yard by 100 yard garden. We canned our own stuff, made our own stuff, being health and wellness. And that's the topic of this conversation, correct?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and
Okay.
that's no. I mean, you're correct. I mean, it's hold on, I'm trying to get through YouTube too. I mean, it's just fascinating when you go to the store what they do, right? Because not everybody has the ability. Like people that live in California or anything like that, they don't really have an easily available way of growing food, because one, they have to watch water
I do.
consumption. Well, they have to watch water consumption. They have to watch all kinds of different things, right?
Okay.
So yeah,
Move.
it's not that easy for some people. It's
Yes, it
expensive.
is. You
It
have a
is.
very high valued house, move, and you go somewhere much cheaper, and you can do exactly what we're talking about instead of just talking about it.
Well, what if they're renting?
Well, obviously, you have the money to rent at a very high rate. You can go live somewhere for much cheaper.
Oh yes. No, it's I've seen a lot of people trying to move out of California, but I mean, some people live paycheck to paycheck, and anymore with rentals. I know, even know with our rental company that actually just got bought, you needed first, last, and the deposit, and most places around here are
Okay.
about.
Standard rent.
Well, and that's what's weird. It wasn't standard in Florida. Usually, it was first and deposit. Um, And so it's, and rent around here is averaging about 2,200 a month. So you're looking at 6 grand just to move. Yeah, Tampa Bay has the highest rising rental rates. But yeah, you're looking at about 6 grand to move, plus utility setup, and the moving truck itself. Those moving trucks now, holy Jesus! To go cross country, like if I'm telling you, if people were to go from California to Florida, right? Like a lot of people are doing. They're either going to Texas or they're going to Florida. Um, it is ridiculous how expensive it is now. It is, and plus the gas prices. God, our gas prices, I just saw, like the highest I think I saw was what, 329, I think, in our area, which is extremely high for us, because given last year we were sitting at like 180. I don't know. Like I don't know. It's a lot of fickle things. And I know like people that live paycheck to paycheck, they don't have. It'd basically be like what, 8 grand just to move, um, at this point. So that's what I kind of think of in that sense when it comes to moving out of you know.
Please tell me you can hear me.
I can hear you, Curtis.
Oh, there you
Hello.
are.
Oh, thank goodness. How
All
are you
right.
guys doing tonight?
Good.
I was busy being the opening act for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Let's have little more fun tonight.
Yeah. So, Curtis, can you give us a rundown on what your expertise is in the health and wellness area? Kind of what we were going to be talking about tonight.
Uh, yeah, in 2005, I became a certified personal trainer, and I've been in that field for ever since, on and off. Like I took about 2 years off, and but yeah, I've been doing it about 14 years now, with pretty good success. And yeah, and uh, I definitely know what I'm talking about here. So let's go. But
So let's go.
yeah, I noticed
Sorry.
it's all right. But yeah, I know everyone's not stressed right now, and but this is just for people that are like. I've noticed a lot of people on Twitter, like even in Facebook groups, like just even even like certain friends that I have, like they're kind of worried, just because like at first it was like, oh, this is so amazing, like we're gonna be rich like next week, and like back in January, and it was all fun, like, and and now we've been holding for how long, like many months now, but uh, yeah, and I'm fine, but I just want to uh, like for the people that just watch the lines all day, and they get stressed out, like seeing their P&Ls down, and I just want to get some alternatives that can maybe help their lives out a little bit, because just release some stress. Like we don't need to stress about this, and that's just my opinion. But yeah, like, I feel exercise is uh, like the best thing to start with when you're exercising. First, you have to learn your proper form. That's the most important thing, so you don't injure yourself. And then just start with some weight training, like do some uh, just some circuit training at first if you're a beginner. If not, then you probably know a little bit what you're doing, and I can answer any questions that you may have. But yeah, just start slow. Don't overwork your muscles. It'll actually make them smaller from overtraining, and you'll be in a lot of pain. Then you may not want to go to the gym again afterwards. I've been there many times. And everything in fitness, just like investing, it takes time and patience. Just progressively increase the intensity of your training over time, and just set short term realistic goals. And once you achieve those goals, you'll feel a self achievement, feel a sense of self achievement. You'll be more confident, and you'll definitely want to keep going. And just uh, and I also recommend writing down or use an app. There's plenty of apps these days to track exactly what exercises you're doing, how many reps, sets, and the amount of weight you use for every single exercise, and track exactly what you eat every single day for every meal. How many total calories, how many fat, carbs, protein, sugar, which is stored as fat if you didn't know. It'll be tedious, and you might hate it, but with time you'll appreciate it because you will learn your body. You will learn how different foods and nutrients within them affect your body, because literally every body is different, and we all have different metabolisms, the rate that your body burns calories. You have some people have medical issues such as thyroid problems, that they have a lot harder time losing weight or whatever their goal is. But yeah, does anyone have any opinions on that, real quick?
I actually had something pretty interesting that we could go back on a little bit when you said, don't injure yourself. So, a funny little lesson I learned doing HIIT is because I woke up one day with bruises
Oh
all
yeah,
over my legs. Like, I mean, we're talking gnarly 3-4 inch bruises on my calves, and I was like, what the heck is this? And I actually figured out through some research that it's the capillaries and your muscle kind of being like bruised because you overworked them. And I mean, it was like on my shins, it was on my calves, it was, up on my knees and stuff. And so it was yeah, that was a
Were you
very
getting shin splints or like that?
a
That could be a
few a
that could
few
be
yeah.
buildup of lactic acid.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was. I found that I was drinking maybe a gallon and a half of water, plus eating fruits and things, getting that major water consumption, and drinking protein shakes, and I was eating high protein foods, eggs and sausage, and eating
right.
turkey. I was trying to do everything right, but come to find out there was yeah, and you're right. It was there could have been some buildup of different toxins and stuff, because I mean, and it was, as you guys know, I was doing 4 or 5 days a week hit training constantly, just killing my body. You do grow used to it, but just in moderation. You have to. That's key to everything, like you said, moderation.
So is this early on in your training, or were
Oh
you
God,
kind
no.
of experienced at the time?
It was all the way through the 9 months of training. I mean, it tapered off, obviously, but in the first, I think it was in the first 2 months, that was when I saw the bigger bruises happening. But
And slow.
what?
You have to take it slow.
That was just, you and I have now talked quite a bit. You know how much headstrong I am. Um,
I
I
know,
just,
I know.
well, and I was really bad too, because I had what was it, S2 S3 supplement. It was like a caffeine hyper inducing type thing, like a supplement that just made me get up, because I don't drink coffee, right? And so I
Yeah.
had that, and I would take Tylenol and ibuprofen right before I'd go to the gym, because I was like, I don't want to feel this. I knew it was gonna hurt, and bad on me. I know that's bad, but I wanted to make sure through that first couple months that I wasn't gonna quit. That was because that's always been my kind of stumper. If then something you have to learn about yourself, right? Is what discourages you from doing something, and my thing is pain. Well, and I was also coming off of restriction from surgeries too, so that pain tolerance was like, I don't want to feel anything, and um,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's understandable.
So,
Like,
yeah,
that's
May I,
one of the biggest reasons people don't go back to the gym is because they work out too hard in the beginning, and they feel that pain, and they're like, I don't want this. Uh,
may
yeah.
I ask,
yes, sure.
what does everybody in here do for a living? I'm out of curiosity for your workout habits versus what you're physically doing at work.
Oh, I am a private personal trainer. I had to, unfortunately, when the pandemic began, early 2020. Uh, I like the or actually in March, when the lockdown started. And we weren't locked down for long, but the gyms were closed for a while, and I just quit my job and took my clients with me, and we started working out in nature, and like doing runs on the beach. And I have a lot of equipment. I have resistance bands. I have weighted vests. I have dumbbells, kettlebells, and I need a lot more stuff to expand. But yeah, that's kind of my story. I had to quit my job and become independent.
That was for everybody, not just Curtis.
yeah. No, I was gonna say,
Oh, absolutely.
I used to be in medicine, quit that because I no longer trust Western medicine. I haven't for years. But right now, BullHouse is literally my job, like, and chasing after our daughter. um, I'm trying to think, because like I said, I've created my own workout stuff, my own workout regimen and nutrition plan years ago, and was very close to getting certified, but then we got relocated to Hawaii, and I just never pursued it after that. But yeah, medicine, different branches of medicine, and so yeah, and I actually got to study like homeopathic, natural medicine. Um, it was holistic medicine, I guess. I don't know however you guys know it as. But really
Alternative.
alternative. Yeah, it has numerous names, but really learning how to get to the root cause and healing your body naturally, because like I said, Western medicine, um, it it makes you like reliant on those substances. And so since I had gone through all the stuff I wanted more natural ways to deal with what was going on in my life. And so controlling what you eat, and making sure you do get enough water and proteins, and omega 3s and whatnots. And so, and
Yeah, that's what you did.
yeah, that's and this comes from a lot between me and Curtis. We both have a lot of experience in health and wellness. And yeah, now I just
Mhm.
I sit at my computer more than I care to some days. But
And that's why the working out and everything else was producing what you were talking about, and the protein buildup.
oh, no,
Um,
no, BullHouse has only been
anybody,
since May. BullHouse has only been since May. Back this was, we're talking 2017 when I was doing this. I was coming off restriction. I was still working in a pediatric office. I was still very, very active. But like I said, yeah, I've always been active. I was a dancer for 15 years, did marching band. Yeah, I'm a very, very active person. Um, yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
just,
Right.
yeah, I pushed too hard. I was doing like high intensity interval training, like, I mean, 2 to 3 hours, 5 days a week, just trying to push. And it was bad. It's bad to do. Um, but it also, for my own mental health, I had to do it, because that's just how I am psychologically. I know my body enough to where I'm like, okay, just push, push, push. And then once you get to that, it takes 21 days to build up a habit. Um, Once I got
Yep.
to the 22nd day, I was like, all right, just go to the gym. Just go to the gym. And it was, after that, it was just clockwork.
Yeah, you just got to push. And speaking of mental health, like, and this isn't like necessarily uh, in regards to the ape community. This is just more something I wanted to express in general, like in case anyone was going through anything and needed some sort of escape. And I wanted to explain a little bit why exercise can be that for you. Uh, and so, yeah, it's I think it's like in terms of mental health. I think it's actually exercise, working out. It's a more powerful, and I think it's a lot safer and more beneficial than actually most mental health pharmaceuticals, in my honest opinion. I do go to therapy, and that's also something I fully believe everyone can benefit from, and there's absolutely no reason to be ashamed about that. I'm not ashamed of it. It's been very helpful, and especially after all that's happened since the beginning of 2020, like so many people lost their whole livelihoods, and they can't get them back. And I would assume almost everyone could benefit from some sort of therapy. But just speaking for myself, working out has always been the most superior therapy of all time. I mean, my dad was a bodybuilder in the Air Force, and he was he's been training me since I was 12, and that's kind of the inspiration I got to go get my certification. And exercise is basically a keystone habit. Like, if you don't know what a keystone habit is, it's basically something that's practiced, developed, and continually applied, and it will influence change in every aspect of your life. And I guarantee that with exercise. Uh, Even if it's just like a walk around the park or like a 30-minute walk, yeah, you will feel better. You will feel better, definitely. And I know most of you're aware of the basic physical benefits of exercise. Like, you'll look better. Like, that's honestly the reason most people approach me. Most of my clients in my life, like, just to lose fat, gain muscle, stamina, whatever. Like, I listen to their goals, and I adjust it and design workouts, and that's what I do. And I make sure to check in every time they reach their goals and see how they're doing mentally, physically, if they want to change things around a bit and intensify things a bit, just to improve their health overall. And anyone that exercises regularly, even if it's just even a jog or something, it doesn't have to be like a monster compound superset workout, like just you'll be generally happier and more motivated. And like if anyone's depressed or anxious, like that will help. I guarantee it. And some exercise daily is prescribed actually for depression and insomnia. But in regards to insomnia, don't work out late at night because you won't fall asleep. But yeah, memory loss, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, among others. And there's also medicine prescribed in those cases too. Yeah, I get it, but that's not really my point tonight. Exercise can be like a drug, though. It's really addicting, and it can and will get you high. I've heard a lot of people say like, how the hell can you get high from exercise? Well, I'm sure most of you have heard of runner's high. What happens during a runner's high is while exercising, certain chemicals and hormones are released in the pleasure centers of your brain, like specifically serotonin, endorphins, dopamine. Exercise can also increase mitochondria in your brain, which can build more neurotransmitters and connections between cells, and that makes the brain work more efficiently in most cases. And just to keep it simple,
I think his phone cut off. Yeah, no, I do. Curtis is hitting it right on the head, like, and that's something that I noticed too. It's just for someone, we have our hookah. Like, you guys know we have our hookah, but that is like literally when I'm sitting down, I'm trying to work at nighttime. Like, that's about the only time we get to do that. Other than that, no, I don't drink coffee. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do other vices. So working out was my vice, and that was, it's phenomenal for me personally. I'm gonna get through some of these YouTube chat. Can't stop junk foods on sale because the more we eat of it, the unhealthy we get, the more medicine we need to take. Boom, pharmaceutical companies win. Yeah, I could see that one.
All right, a little bit of QAnon there. The problem is most jobs in America have become less physical. They're in of themselves, and you can't find workers that even want to do them anymore. This is coming from somebody that works in a physical field. So we're feeling the need to supplement with these physical activities, going for a jog. No, if you actually, like I said, I get my background. I think it's been very clear before. I crawl houses. I do inspections so you can sell your home. You're crawling and doing yoga already. You don't need to go do yoga if you're doing a job that entails that. You don't stay on Twitter all day. You subtract the things that are mentally unhealthy and do things that are naturally healthy and beneficial to both your pocket and society. That was where my question was originally, lying in with what does everybody do? And anybody that's listening in the chat's more than welcome to chime in as well. If you stay constantly in an echo chamber, unfortunately, it's going to be mentally unhealthy and it's going to lead to depression. It's going to lead to things like that where you want to do less. This is coming from somebody that can say that personally. When you let those things go a little bit and you worry about your actual immediate realm, a lot of these problems kind of start working themselves out. You're not eating Debbie cakes, trust me.
Well,
because you actually need energy.
I will play devil's advocate with you because working in a hospital, 19, 20 years old. I was in good shape.
I'll be EMT as well. I have my EMT.
Okay, so I think you know where I'm going to go with this. I witnessed a lot of overweight nurses. I mean, they were on every floor possible. We know nurses work their asses off. I mean, right?
Well, they're working, but not in the same capacity by any means physically. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, my transporters, they push beds. I mean, they're physical, right? They're nurses. They would help push beds and everything. They're still doing physical work. I mean, no, they're not crawling around houses, but they were. I mean, it was a 4-story hospital that I worked in.
Sure, they all use the stairs, right?
You can't really take beds upstairs, but still.
You actually can. Done it.
I wouldn't take these beds upstairs, not to the 4th floor. But anyway, I don't know. Like, I think it's all perceived on what they, your healthy habits too, right? Like it's, and I did see John Diamond's guy thinks apes are fat. Now, I know. Then you said PHAT. No, this is really, guys. it's simple. Because if you actually do research, and this isn't just for the apes, this isn't just for, the average retail investor, depression is high right now around the country. And whenever the country or the world goes into a recession, a depression does slip in. And so this kind of where we wanted to start intermingling natural ways, cheap ways to kind of help with that aspect, right? Because if people are getting laid off, if people are going to be losing jobs or anything like that, you still got to keep track of your mental health, because that was something that I noticed during 8, 10, 12, 16, all these big recessions, is that the mental health really declined. And I can speak from a very personal level on 12, because 12 was very rough on us. And I am very thankful for our dog. We had our oldest dog at that point, and we'd go for walks all the time. So, that's kind of the point of this, because I did see, Julie, yes, this is a finance channel, but we do want to start, we're going to come up with, how to live on a budget, like gardening, starting your garden, how do you really like get into, working out at home, and what you can do on a budget, right? And it'll be for all kinds of budgets. It's not like, oh, hey, you're just dead ass broke. No, it's going to be different budgets, and so that's where it fits into the finance world.
Well, the easiest way, I'll still stand by it again, step away from social media a little bit. I mean, I think that can be the worst thing on your mental health if that's not how we're pivoting the conversation. And we're going physical to mental. Social media, obviously, it's in the news right now that Facebook was clearly, knowingly hurting teen adolescents, correct?
Oh God, yes. I mean, social
Okay.
media is a drain on teenage minds, 100%.
So, and where do we advertise?
On social media.
Yeah. So, are we contributing to the same problem we're complaining about at the same time?
Well, I mean, it's so. I personally, social media is a double-edged sword, because at the same time, my husband has this
When
thing.
we like it, we like it. When we hate it, we hate it.
Well, not
Gotcha.
even that. So my husband has this thing. If you and him were alone on a desert island and he had Google and YouTube, would you trust him to perform a open heart surgery if you needed it? If you had Google and YouTube, granted,
That's a totally arbitrary question, because if we're alone on a desert island, his phone wouldn't last long enough for me to need it.
it could. I'm just saying, if you had like your solar charger and everything else, if you could do that.
What an amazing desert island that my ship wrecked, and I saved the solar charger in the.
You're overthinking this. Come on, overthinking it.
Maybe we're not thinking enough.
But anyway, so no, social media. So this is something that I think back to MySpace times, right? That is where I really appreciate what MySpace did in the sense of social aspect, because you could relate to friends, you could customize things, it kind of opened up the world to interacting. And then we had Xbox Live, that got people talking globally and everything. So and yes, before everybody starts in on me, yes, I know AIM was a thing, I know AOL chat was a thing, I know these things, but for my own generation.
Nah, man, Friendster was first.
What is it?
Friendster.
I don't know what Friendster is.
Yeah, I know.
But no, MySpace was like was when I was in middle school, and so it might have even been intermediate school.
Friendster was before MySpace, and I don't think you're older than me.
No, I'm 31.
Yeah, well, fuck, you are. You're younger.
Yeah, I am younger. But no, I appreciate what that did. And when Facebook came in, it really did change things. And Twitter, geez. I mean, and then you have just how they, what's allowed, what's not allowed, and all this other stuff. Like, it's getting craziness at this point. So I
do have a side question, and this might seem off the bat, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, and I understand the whole opening up the world for it, but at the same time, that's kind of like saying how syphilis opened up the world for AIDS. Curtis, how do you feel about health crystals?
think Curtis is lost. I think he lost connection somehow.
Crystals have a large health benefit.
I, there's not enough studies on it for me. I mean, I know there are studies on it. There is just something about it. I don't know.
Well, it's not Western, definitely Eastern.
Yeah, it's definitely Eastern. I don't know. Like crystal, I haven't had practice with crystals personally. I have a lot of experience with a lot of different things. Oh, hey Omar. Um,
Sorry about that.
no worries.
I'll recede.
You're fine. No, it's fine. I will. I won't answer on things that I have no idea about because, like I said, I never got to study under them. So if they work, they work. If they don't, they don't. Um, hey Omar, To the Moon? What did you have to add, real quick? I know you've been up here for a while. Anything? I don't know if To the Moon's still here.
I've been in 4 servers with that guy or girl, and I've never heard him say any or her say anything.
To the Moon? It's a guy. He talks.
I mean, this day and age, I can't define your gender. That's mentally detrimental
Oh
if I do that.
Lord, Omar, what's going on?
I'm sorry, how are you?
I'm okay.
Crystals are awesome and they work. Honestly, as far as stress relief and things like that, I mean, yeah, that's the best way to put it. I don't know what else more I can say about that.
That's good to know. You want to give more insight into it?
Is there a particular crystal or a particular regiment?
For me, I like using smoky quartz. Also, amethyst is a good one that works, and rose quartz. Rose quartz is a really good one that helps with stress relief. But yeah, I mean, part of it is and it's kind of sounds all wizardry or crazy, but part of it is kind of you gotta believe, So it's the first step.
So am I heard at this now?
Yes, I can hear you, To the Moon. What's
Yeah,
going
Moon,
on?
you're there now.
I was trying to speak before, and I guess you guys couldn't hear me. I was responding to Kenna. Sorry about that. I can't tell when I can be heard or not. So when you guys say you can't hear me, I got to start over here.
No worries. What's going on?
So, Kenna, I was just going to comment. I initially raised my hand when you were talking about junk food versus healthy food. I mean, that's absolutely fact. You can get a liter of Coke for what, 99 cents, $1.25? 2 liters of Coke is less than half the price of a gallon of milk now. So, if you're on a budget, you're going to go for whatever's the cheapest. And you're absolutely right. Crap food is a lot cheaper than good food.
And it's just an unfortunate thing, right? And there was something. Oh, I think it was. So I know it was from the 90s, maybe early 2000s, when I had friends that had, like their parents were on food stamps and stuff. Like for some reason, I don't know. Sorry. I don't know the specifics, but it was always seemed that they had more junk food than healthy food. I don't know why that is, but does anybody know that?
Yeah, I'll take a shot at that one.
Okay.
Typically, quote, healthy food, which I always take an angle at that when you say healthy food, because people say salads are healthy food, then they put a pound of cheese and bacon on it, and it's not healthy food. So let's back that up a little bit. When you say healthy food, you're talking about things that typically are going to go bad within a week and a half. And they have to come from something. Milk comes from a cow, just to answer Moon directly. So you have to have a cow that's able to produce milk that you're actually milking, and then having that shipped out that goes through a pasteurization process, because that's legally required at this point in time. I think it's been that way for a long time. Roughly 90 years, where it has to be pasteurized.
That's a rule that sucks, by the way.
And I think, Omar, me and you have talked a long time ago about this. It's actually illegal to have unpasteurized milk, because it actually contains a high amount of bacteria that can cause a lot of problems. So it does have to go through that process. It has to go through the whole heating. Sorry, my background is in biology. To rid that so it's good for 2 weeks. Well, on the other hand, my soda, which is water, sugar, and bicarbonates, that's good for a year and a half. I can keep that on the shelf. When I make it, I can sell it on sale when it's not moving for my profit margin. So, yeah, it's not that there's a scam that unhealthy food is cheaper. It's just that, quote, healthy food goes bad quicker. So you have to be able to maintain the times, maintain the conditions, maintain your cattle, maintain your crop. If strawberries went through a cold snap all of a sudden, guess what? Strawberries jump up $3. You're paying supply and demand, and that's what essentially this server is. Any economics is it's supply and demand. If the product doesn't exist, the price goes up.
I mean, honestly, if you really just want to eat healthier, something my wife had taught me, rule of thumb, is when you go grocery shopping, stay to the outside aisles. All around the outside is usually the produce and the dairy and all the other
True.
items you're going to find.
True.
To a certain extent. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be processed things there too,
but that doesn't change the pricing. And I think that was the original question. And here was the pricing on junk food versus healthy food. You're correct.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Please proceed.
No, I was saying if you want to actually shop healthy, that's the best way to do it. Stay on the outside aisles because the meat's normally on the back, the dairy's down the left side, right side's vegetables. Stay around the corners and you're fine.
So when you're discussing, you can finish. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you.
I was finished. Go ahead, man.
No, so like when you're discussing the factor in pricing and stuff like that, you have to factor the source of where your items are coming from, and that's why the prices are going to be a certain increase. But you have to understand that increase is, in some cases, not in all cases, in some cases, a necessity because they need that money to actually maintain those particular cows to keep them properly grass fed and not wherever, or for the chickens, or for your produce for that matter, to keep it properly organic and find ways that they can actually make sure that they don't have to use any type of pesticides and things like that. So it makes sense to me to an extent. I still do my research, but I mean, you have to factor that in. So yeah, I do get it. It is expensive, but that's the reason why it is, certainly expensive to a certain extent.
Well, I'm just saying I can make my own soda at home for 7 cents. Like you can buy
soda.
You can buy your own machine. You can buy the flavoring. I think the initial setup's about $150, and then for every cup after, which is equivalent of a 20-ounce bottle, you can about 2 cents.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
it's the Soda Stream. I own one. It is actually a better alternative, to believe it or not, than to just drinking regular soda, less sugars and stuff like that in it.
I mean, like I said, it's basically carbonation flavoring. You're getting it, and then you can put your amount of sugar or whatever. It's basically like a Keurig for soda.
Oh, very interesting. I might have to look into that.
But I mean, you don't have to buy Pepsi Cola's version. You don't have to buy the store-bought. I mean, it can be cheap and still be more healthy, or healthier and not more healthy, because that's terrible English.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was a way you could add like healthy drinks to that type of mechanism.
Well, I make sparkling water with just fruits in it. I infuse it with blueberries and strawberries and stuff like that, and I just do sparkling water with it.
Also, a blender works just fine with fruit.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know all about that.
I think sometimes we try to reinvent the wheel when we have these conversations, when there are simple solutions in front of us. That's my point.
Well, I think we might have lost sight of when you're poor and you don't have much money, $150 for a piece of machinery to make soda is a pretty expensive proposition if you don't have much money to start with. So, $1.50.
Yeah, but if you're poor, you shouldn't be drinking soda to begin with. So you should be spending your money somewhere else.
Exactly. But if I got to buy milk over soda, I mean, I'll buy soda over milk if it's the cheapest thing to do. I mean, I'm trying to be sympathetic to Kenna's point. If people don't have a lot of money, they're going to buy whatever's the cheapest and most accessible, and it ain't quality.
Well,
Well,
so I
can
will
I be frank?
pose this
Hey,
question.
Dan.
I'm gonna pose this question real quick before you go, Omar. Have you guys lived on $10 a week before?
Yeah.
Okay, so Omar has.
Less, yeah.
Curtis, I know you have. Tampa?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So that's who I'm, that's what I'm looking to kind of help, because I've had to make $10 stretch between me, my husband, and our dog. And that is picking up, what we can. So like maybe like a cup of ramen, like, or, and drinking tap water. God help you if you have bad tap water.
Right.
It's that. It's not anyone that has, the $600 that, the government wants to go spy on in your bank account. It's not those people, right? Because if we are looking at 1929 or even 1970s or anything like that kind of recession, right? People, we're talking about how to make it stretch. If the dollar crashes and it's not worth as much as it should be. Though that's what I'm trying to address. Not, how to make soda, how not to, you know what I mean?
Well, I agree and disagree at the same time. You were allotted over the past year and a half approximately $6,000 if you were living on $10 a month, correct? Or $10 a week, right?
I'm literally talking like 2012 when I had to go through it.
I'm literally talking about this recession upcoming in the current conversation.
We probably won't have that. We probably won't have handouts like at all coming up.
We just had them though, so let's pertain that you had $6,000 and instead of going and buying things you wanted, right? Or spending $2 per bottle at 7-Eleven or $1.50 at Kroger or Publix or wherever you shop. You decide to make the upfront investment, which this is an investing server. You invested in that machine where the rest of your life, or for the next 5 to 7 years, whatever it's warranted, you can now have it for 2 cents. It's about choices and personal decisions, just like health and wellness is a personal decision. You're making that personal decision how to use your money, and I would assume anybody in this conversation was investing in the market, correct? Would I be wrong to assume that?
I mean,
Go ahead, Hannah.
I was going to say, okay, so most people, okay, I won't say most, a good portion of people most likely use that money to pay their bills. I know we did, because our business was shut down. We paid our rent. We paid, we took care of ourselves. We couldn't put it in the stock market. Right? Like we actually needed to use that money to pay our rent, to pay our electric, keep the water running, keep our cell phones going, and do what we needed to do until we got business back. So, yeah, I mean, I'm one of many, but...
Right, and I've lost most of my clients because they cannot afford a personal trainer anymore, so I cannot afford to buy anything that I want. I just buy things I need. There's a big difference there.
So yeah, because I know real estate was going great last year. I know real estate, houses were flipping, and so I'm sure you were busy, right? Us doing real estate photography, because the houses were flipping so fast, realtors didn't need pictures. We tried to re-innovate our business model to a different way. Did not work. We tried different things. My husband's on VA benefits, so we're on a fixed income. And since he has seizures, with our daughter, who is just turned 2 this year, I couldn't leave him alone. We couldn't afford daycare. So no, there were many families, many families that no, they probably weren't shoving that $6,000 into the stock market.
No, that you're misinterpreting completely what I'm saying.
Okay.
What I was saying was people in this server are invested in the stock market, correct? I would find it a little bit weird if you didn't have money sitting in investments and being in the server.
Oh, I'm sure now, but some people got in January, some people got in May, some people have just got in the last month. So, I mean, who knows when most people got into the stock market?
Yeah, I started trading last October out of a need to make money. I just stayed up for like a week straight trying to learn options, and fortunately, I did well. I started with $500, and I have more now. But uh, and I all that money goes to paying my mom's bills and my bills. I don't have extra money to do anything. So this is what we're trying to talk about.
We're talking about financial hardships or health and wellness.
Well, you kind of made it about. I don't know. You made it different.
No. I was saying that there's alternative options. It was junk food versus healthy food in ways that you could still maintain that.
Obviously, do not eat junk food.
I was just saying there's alternatives, and there was a thing before about spending money and why it was cheaper for junk food versus that, in which I gave an answer. Junk food lasts longer, which healthy food perishes quicker. That was where I started, and then it went down a rabbit hole.
I think we should grow our own food.
But you can't do that. We already had that conversation previously. Where you live, then you can't do it. Which I made the argument you could buy soil, build a grow-up bed. You can do certain things like that. And seeds, and I said that originally, that would be cheaper. But that was shot down. So we're going back around to that?
I already have seeds and plants growing right now, so I don't know.
Awesome. That's good. What are you growing, man?
I'm growing some tomatoes, some onions. And that's about it right now.
I'll trade you some onions. We have some tomatoes growing and pea pods. We actually have 4 pea pods popping up right now. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think this is why this conversation needs to happen, because I think there's just there's so many different ways of looking at this. And health and wellness isn't just exercising or eating right, it's mental health. And I am a very big advocate for mental health. Having now my husband with his seizures, and they are non-epileptic, and so they're very they're stress induced. So when he gets a lot of anxiety or stress, he will have a seizure. So that's just something I really want to bring attention to, because it is what we have coming up, whatever it is just going to be.
It's going to be hard on everyone.
It's going to be hard. Like I come from a middle class family. We did okay. My parents did okay, but they lost everything in '08, right? And me and my sister have helped, pick up the slack as much as we can since then. Johnny Rocket, I don't think you can grow Twinkies. My daughter might share her Twinkies that she has grown very fond of. I hate Twinkies. They are so weird. But that's what I really want, is to be able to help, because I don't want anyone to ever feel like I felt in 2012. Walking literally a mile to a gas station to get hot water to fill a ramen cup because I had no electricity. I was a broke college kid that couldn't, I went back to college after my medical assisting license, which Obamacare pretty much killed the medical field in Indiana. And so it was very hard for me to get a job. No one was hiring in 2012. Barely couldn't even get a serving job, right? Which was terrible. So no, a lot of people know that story. Everyone knows that story. I don't, if I can help one person at least not go through that shit, and, kind of just my life knowledge of how to stretch a buck, because that is probably the hardest thing to do. When you see,
Put it in crypto.
What?
If you want to stretch a buck, put it in crypto, because inflation's killer.
Yeah. And that's exactly where I was going with that. Inflation. Our inflation numbers came out 5.1%, which I think is bullshit, given everything that I see. And I live in Florida, guys. You guys, it's one of the cheapest states to live in and that's on a coastal state, right? It's one of the cheapest coastal states to live in. And I looked at gas prices up in Indiana, and they're at $3.40, $3.60 roughly in my hometown. And it is insane. Like I said, we're at $3.29. So Indiana's more expensive on gas than Florida is. Obviously, we're closer to refineries and stuff, but it is 5.4% was in the middle of '08 inflation rate. But I don't think they're factoring in everything. Like they CPIs and stuff, they take different equations every year. They don't put into the same, put the same things in to calculate what inflation rate is. So, go ahead.
Real quick with you, if you're confused about inflation, I'm confused why anybody's confused. I don't understand how you print $750 billion and then ask for another $3.5 trillion that's not backed by anything, and then wonder why prices of things are going up.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I'm trying
definitely.
You can't just keep printing money.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, and then they want to mint the $3 trillion coin or some stupid shit.
Yeah, 3.5 trillion is what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one coming down the pipe is like, you can't keep putting fake money into the system when it doesn't exist.
No.
Yeah, we agree there for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And so, wait, just heard seizures. My twin sister, who's 9 months older, gets them constantly ever since 3rd grade. I've tried to get info from her doctor, but they never say what causes and prevention. Jose, so if they're epileptic, it would be something neurological. They would show up and be neurological. If they're non-epileptic, if you find that they are induced by strenuous activity or stress-induced or anything like that, they would be considered non-epileptic. Like if hyperventilation, things like that. And so then you kind of go from there depending on the type of seizure. Hambone had to go through a ton of tests to figure out if they were epileptic or if they were non-epileptic, and it was from a TBI that he got in the temporal area of his head while he was serving. So that's what causes this. So
#NMA.
Huh?
That #NMA, not medical advice.
Yeah, not medical advice, just friend advice at this point, because just knowing what I've gone through with him and, oh my God, the sleep studies and everything else. So contact the doctors about that for sure. They are epileptic. So yeah, that would be a doctor thing. There's a lot of different things that you can do for it. But yeah, that's the main purpose of adding health and wellness, and adding it, putting it to where it's on a budget. See ya, Pam. Take care. Thank you for coming in. I know you're eating dinner or something. I saw something about that. But yeah,
Later, Pam.
that's why I want to add this to the BullHouse. BullHouse is financial, based, but we are, the magazine itself, it will have, it's going to have sports and esports, because it is in our Discord. Like, we have sports betting and stuff like that. Not that many people do it, because Hambo's too busy doing a million other things. But, we're going to be covering sports and esports and, gaming.
Wait a second. Do you need a gambling expert?
I mean, we're all kind of gambling experts if we're in the stock market. So at this point, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Omar, do you want to help me volunteer on this one?
Oh, Lord. Talk to me after this, guys. But no, we are going to be adding all of that to the magazine. And then on top of that, Tampa is going to be writing articles for, how to do health and wellness on a budget, because this is the kind of thing where, and most of these will probably be up on the website for free, but I'm going to, incorporate some different things with it in the magazine, maybe Curtis can do some fun photography and should demonstrate it or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But or maybe how-to videos or something. But yeah, it's just part of it. It's part of it. The mental health of what's to come and just kind of taking care of yourself, because, speaking from experience, prevention is always better than treatment, right? So if you can keep yourself healthy and aware of what's going on and, mentally sound and taking care of yourself in that way, then you won't have to go to the doctor and spend a bunch of money and doing all this other stuff. So that's kind of how it all ties in, right? Yeah, that's my little rant for it.
So I really think physical wellness is a big necessity. Mental wellness is a big necessity as well. and they both tie in hand together, big time. And the reason I say that, I mean, obviously, if you're sitting here stressed out, whether it be, I mean, to the stock market or whatever, day to day life stuff or anything, you just stress eat. You do all types of weird things that you shouldn't be doing. You don't work out more at least 8 times out of 10. I can say you're probably not going to work out. But yeah, I mean, I think having a strong mental health is a big thing, especially with a lot of people are not day trading and staring at the stock market every day, and it's really messing with their heads. And that's kind of the issue of where things are. I get it. People are watching because they don't want to miss out on any. Well, I don't want to say it, but anyway, they don't want to miss out on things. And so, and that's understandable. It's just I think people need to at least take an hour or 2 hours a day to step away from all this stuff. And I think Curtis had said to take a walk to the park or do anything. You know, it is something. I take my son to football practice at least, so when I go to football practice, I walk around the football field and stuff, you know. But yeah, definitely getting out there and letting your mind get off of these things for a little bit, or at least stop thinking about some of this stuff for a while, definitely helps with your stability.
I'd like to piggyback on that real quick. I freaking hate this guy, and a lot of people have a bunch of opinions about him, but he is actually a really good arguer, if nothing else. But Ben Shapiro did say it, and he's Orthodox Jew, or Orthodox Judaism. I'm not trying to offend anybody, even though they identify as Jews. Anyways, talking about the Sabbath being from Friday night to Saturday, that he steps away from electronics, gets out of his own head. It's a full 24 hours where it's not checking Twitter, not checking anything, no electronics, family time, me time, reflecting. I don't personally believe in synagogue or anything like that. But hey, that's his vessel. It's about stepping away from some of the stuff. The stock market closes, ain't no reason to be sitting there staring at it still. Like, walk away. I made that mistake early on. I've been around with you since the AMC Talk days. Omar, I think the same. Curtis, just had the pleasure of meeting you. Anybody else in here? Gotcha. But obsession's bad in any sense, right?
You're correct in that. Yes, 100%.
So, I mean, you have to draw your boundaries somewhere, and that's how you get mentally healthy, at least in my opinion. Like, you have to have that, no, this is family time. No, this is this time. This is work time. This is blank time. Whatever, this is my workout time. You know, you have 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, whatever your parameters are, set them. And you have to have self-discipline behind that.
And that is the key to it, right? I completely agree. And that's, that's why I did post up BullHouse's new schedule. I'm taking a couple days a week to where I can just disconnect and, focus on different things. And, because like for me, what I enjoy I love researching. You guys know this. That is literally my happy place. When it comes to looking at my computer and stuff, that is my, I zone in, I put some loud music on and I go to work. But then also playing with my daughter, watching movies with my family and everything. So no, 100%, gotta disconnect 100%. I do want to I want to bring Citadel Air up here, our resident doctor, so he can speak on this. While I'm getting him up here, Omar, what do you got for me?
For the record, when Kenna says that she's taking only 2 days and she's going to focus on other things, she's probably diving into like some other new bank and whole nother crazy thing that she's going to present to us one day, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't. I mean, no. Okay, so maybe, but I mean, possibly.
Bullshit. Can't sell a salesman.
Just because I may have found 20 some odd politicians linked to Citadel and BlackRock doesn't mean anything. No. But yeah, I actually did find that. But anyway, and that'll be on the mind map here probably in the next couple days. It's pretty gnarly.
Question is it going to help?
Is it going to help what?
Anything. They're going to keep.
It'll help me actually.
Around.
So, for me to keep my thoughts straight, like this mind map's actually helping me keep my research. So it's helping me mentally because there's so much crap going on in my brain at this point. I can't keep things straight and who's connected to what. So yeah, it's helping. It's very soothing.
Okay. I think back to mental health. It's not.
No, really, no, really. That's why I said, like, researching. I love answers. I am full nerd. Okay, if you guys haven't figured this out, you've not been paying attention.
Oh no!
But no,
I get it,
like,
but it's not healthy. We're talking about health and wellness.
but it is. So, and this is when I say I'm researching. It's late at night. You know, we've got the hookah going. We're relaxing. We're just no, that's not healthy. I know that, guys. Hush you. But
Really,
you know.
I just did a shot of heroin. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, no, thank you. My brain does not need those kinds of things. But anyway, so
My arm hurts.
for my own health, for my own mental health, I need to have the answers. I love answers. I love knowing what's going on every step of the way. That's why I am the way I am. And I actually go kind of crazy on my days off. I'm not going to lie. Like, we have to go do stuff. We have to go to the park. We have to go to the beach. We have to go do something to keep my brain occupied, or I just sit here and twiddle my thumbs. Kid you not. What?
No, when you said that you just have to get the answers, all I can hear is pick Kanye West in my head screaming, "You don't have the answers, Kenna. You don't have the answers."
I don't have them all. But and that's the thing, right? Like, I've been on this task since January, February. I'll say February. When I start with the ETS, too many letters in my head. With the ETS, when I started figuring that out, right? Like, that was the opening door to all of this. And so when we're speaking mental health, yeah, Twitter. Man, guys, there's days when I have to step away from Twitter because I'm just like, nope. Like, the weekends, I really don't check Twitter much because I know what's happening. Like, it's been a cycle for 4 months now.
It's been accepted. Twitter is toxic.
Well, I mean, for the ape community, I think it's been
it's
4 months. It's for 4 months or so. Every weekend is kind of just, nope, I'm just gonna stay away. So
No. It's been toxic prior to that.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I know that. I know.
For a long time.
There's a reason why I didn't
overall.
I didn't get on Twitter until like.
Let's be honest. We're having an honest conversation.
Oh no! I mean, no. Twitter's a funny social experiment.
No, it's terrible.
It's why I say funny social experiment is.
You're using a euphemism instead of just saying it's terrible.
It's funny in the sense that if you try to make somebody happy instead of just voicing what you think, you're gonna piss everybody off. It's really I've been really watching, and I probably read way more than I should on Twitter, and it's very odd to see what gets through, what doesn't get through, and what gets liked and what doesn't get liked.
Do you worry about that in your personal life, day-to-day interactions?
Oh God,
when
no.
you're talking to people?
No.
So why the F doesn't matter on
It
Twitter?
doesn't. Well, and that's the thing is,
It does to a degree.
If you actually see my Twitter, it does not matter. Like, I really don't care.
I follow you.
Yeah. So you see that I don't care what I say on Twitter. But it's just funny to see what other people do, right? Like,
but you care to a degree, you're reading everybody else's. So it's either you put it out there and don't care, or you're reading behind it to check. And I said earlier, I hate the guy, but during the particular interview, it was a Russell Brand and Ben Shapiro interview.
See, I like Ben Shapiro. I actually like him.
Well, no, I don't hate him. I just think he's abrasive. He's not incorrect all the time. All the time, he is incorrect sometimes. But he's abrasive when he comes across when he talks to people, which maybe I am as well. But anyways, I'll identify myself. When he talks, he says that he's like, I got in my own head with it. He's like, it wasn't just what I was saying on there. He's like, it's what I started reading what other people were saying. And that's where I got in my own head, where I started reading what they were saying to what I was saying. And then I realized that I was caring what other people thought. And it wasn't just my thoughts anymore. He's like, I realized I was playing a game. And this is, like I said, it's a Russell Brand and Ben Shapiro respectfully disagree.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Well, it was a really weird, interesting interview. on both parts.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
No, right.
Hey, I can't figure out how to bring him up. Citadel has his hand up for a while.
No, I invited him up. He's just being shy. But actually,
Okay.
we are going to be calling this because my daughter is now awake and going crazy. So, speaking of mental health. But no, if you guys do like these little segments, we will continue them on the podcast. If not, we can keep into the magazine. So just let me know. I enjoy them, but it's not just about me.
Curtis, just on the take, how do you feel about whiskey on the children's teeth to help them go to bed? Please discuss.
I think we might have lost him again.
Damn it.
No, we're not. No, you don't give children whiskey. No.
It worked for 85
Yeah,
years.
you're supposed to give them gin.
Oh, my bad.
You guys are terrible. No, and no. Anyway, guys. So let's see. What is today? Today's
Rummy?
Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. So I'm not exactly sure what we're talking about. I might have some stuff. I might try to get some stuff lined up with the mind map. We'll be on Twitter Space. Lidocaine.
Toxic, stay away.
Mental
health.
Shut up. But no, I'll try to get some of the research done for you guys tonight. Because I just have to plug it in. It's literally all I have to do. Other than that, it's been good. Curtis, I'm so sorry that you're having so many problems with Discord, and I don't know why. But I do have a special little announcement that Curtis is going to start doing TikTok for BullHouse. Speaking of social media, it's his little pet project, so look for TikTok BullHouse some point. I will tweet it out at some point whenever he has this all set up, but it should be interesting. It'll be funny, not serious. It's not my seriousness by any means.
So just for the record, at the end we're doing plugs.
Doing what?
Plugs.
If you want to.
Check out my boy Omar Cards on Instagram. He's got the sickest cards in Miami. Check him out, man. Hobby Cards. Make yourself some money.
All right. I will see you guys later.
Have a great night, Miss Kenna.
Have a good night.
You too, guys.